Oh boy, Ottawa's real estate prices have really rallied since their low in November of last year. In fact, residential and condominium prices have increased so quickly that we're fast approaching 2022 price levels. We've also been seeing the large banks increase their fixed rate mortgages in the past few days, and TransUnion is telling us that Canadian consumer debt level just hit an all-time high. Stick around to the end of the video. I'll also be discussing real estate and AI. Yes, the buzzword of the year. Let's do this. My name is Roch St-Georges. I'm a real estate broker in Ottawa. I help families and individuals with the purchase, sale, or rental of real estate in our beautiful city. In May, members of the Ottawa Real Estate Board sold a total of 1,477 residential properties and 462 condominium properties, up 7.7% and 0.7% over May of last year. Here's a chart from OREB showing sales per week for both residential and condo class properties. We can see in the light blue color the 2023 sales per week. We are at or just slightly above 2022 levels, which is shown in green. In May, the average sale price of residential freehold property was $746,000, while the average condo sale price was $443,000. Month over month, we actually recorded a decline in freehold property prices. These have dropped an average of $2,530, while condo prices continued to increase 1.6% month over month. Is this a time now that we're seeing a plateau or prices are going to be slowly coming down? Time will tell. Year to date, residential properties are up $69,695 or 10.3%. Condominium prices are up $30,615 or 7.4%. Let's look at the weekly chart of residential prices. In light blue, we see 2023 price levels. We are currently trending at or just above 2021 price levels and just below 2022 price levels. Here's the one for condo prices. Once again, in light blue, we can see 2023 prices. We are currently at or just above 2021 price levels, but below 2022 levels. Continuous days on market. Freehold residential properties are selling in an average of 35 days, while condos are selling in an average of 36 days on market, up from 14 and 17 days at the same time last year. We can see the continuous days on market has been trending down in recent months from their peak in January. Going forward in this video, I'll be referring to figures for properties sold within the city of Ottawa and not including sales in neighboring towns such as Alexandria, Almonte, Smiths Falls, etc. In Ottawa, during the month of May, 322 properties sold over their asking price, representing 21.9% of all sales. On average, these properties sold for $26,000 to $20 over the asking price. There was one buyer who paid $260,000 over the asking price to secure his or her property. This was on a listing just above $1 million. List price to sold price ratio. In April, sellers received on average 98.5% of their original asking price. In this graph, we can see in green the original asking price of properties, and in blue, we can see the average sell prices. We see the majority of homeowners are looking to sell their properties at levels higher than what buyers are willing to pay. If we look at a bigger time frame, we can see these sellers continue to list their properties at prices last seen in March 2022 when the prices peaked. This was when the benchmark rate started to increase from 0.25%. As a reminder, we are now at 4.5%, and then the next Bank of Canada meeting is on June 7th, and many believe we could see another hike by the Bank of Canada. Let's talk about inventory. Ottawa has 1.3 months of residential freehold and condo inventory, down from 1.5 months of inventory in April. This has been trending down since we saw a peak of 3.2 months in January. Inventory is slightly higher than the last May when we saw 1.1 months of inventory. Looking at active listings in May, we had 1,900 active listings on the local MLS here in the city, up from 1,762 in April. To give us a perspective, we can look at the 10-year chart. Active listings remain quite low, as we can see. We had 2,083 new listings hit the MLS in May, up from 1,559 in April. New listings are therefore up 33.6% month over month. However, this is less than the 2,470 new listings we saw at the same time last year. Before we discuss current news and market data, if you've so far enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you know someone that would benefit from seeing this video, be sure to share it with them. I post real estate market updates like this one and other real estate related content a few times a month. So if that is of interest to you, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. For example, I'll be posting a separate video on the current rental market. So if that is of interest to you, you know what to do. Now let's talk about what we've been seeing in the news. First off, the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, has published an article titled "How Falling Home Prices Could Strain Financial Markets as Interest Rates Rise." We can read, countries with elevated housing prices and high household debt issued at floating rates are particularly vulnerable to monetary policy tightening. According to the data from the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, countries such as Canada, Australia, Norway, and Sweden face the greatest risk. We can see in this graphic that Canada is at the top of their list, meaning in their view, we are at the highest risk of seeing some trouble. They write, while it is unlikely that falling home prices will spark a financial crisis, a sharp drop in house prices could dim the economic outlook. Now, Canadian consumer debt has reached a record high of $2.32 trillion in the first quarter of 2023, according to a report by TransUnion. The increase in debt comes amid rising interest rate and high inflation, leading more Canadians to rely on credit. Here are some key takeaways from the article. The number of Canadians with access to credit rose by 2.9% to 30.6 million, and the volume of consumers adding additional credit products increased by 6.2%. This trend is driven by Gen Z consumers entering the credit market and new Canadians. Higher credit balances have led to an increase in minimum monthly payments, particularly for mortgages and line of credits, which are sensitive to interest rate changes. The average monthly payment for a line of credit rose by 43% to $436, while the average monthly payment increased 15% to $2,032. The percentage of Canadian consumers past due on any account for 90 days or more, also known as credit delinquency, increased slightly to 1.57%. Looking at mortgage rates, we've been seeing in the past few days increases to the fixed rate mortgages. These hikes come in response to a rise in Government of Canadian bond yields, which influence fixed rate pricing. The primary driver of this yield spike was disappointing Consumer Price Index, or CPI, data which was released on May 16th. The data revealed an increase in the Consumer Price Index in April, ending a 5-month deceleration trend. This suggests that the Bank of Canada may face more difficulty than anticipated in bringing inflation back down to its 2% target. This brings me to my next point. On June 7th, the Bank of Canada will be announcing their interest rate decision. Will they be cutting rates, increasing rates, or holding rates where they are? The odds of the Bank of Canada increasing their rates have risen in the past few days. New data suggests that household spending increased in the quarter following 2 periods of minimal growth. But housing investment slowed due to higher borrowing costs. Canadians spend more on vehicles, dining out, and vacations during that quarter. The strong GDP results have led some economists to believe that the Bank of Canada may need to raise interest rates again to control inflation. Now, finally, if you haven't heard someone use the word AI as of late, You're probably living in a remote area, perhaps a forest or perhaps the desert. There's many online apps that have recently surfaced on the web, which I love using. I want to share one that ties in with real estate. That is roomgpt.io. It is a website where you can upload a picture of your room, pick a theme, then wait for AI to redesign the room. Here's the kitchen of a house I sold in Canada. Here's the AI generated redesign of that same kitchen. Now here's a condo in the downtown core. Now here's the redesign for that unit. Is it perfect? No way. Here's the redesign of a condo. It took the concrete jungle outside and added an outdoor garden and left the room empty. I find it cool nonetheless. It's great for generating ideas that can then be fine-tuned for your projects. That's all for this video. Thank you so much. If you like to discuss the purchase, sale, or rental of a property in Ottawa, please don't hesitate to contact me using the information on the screen. Thank you so much. Merci. Ciao. This is the end of the video. If you liked what you heard and saw, please feel free to watch this video here or that video there. Thank you. Ciao.